Welcome to the channel. I'm the Scottish Astrologer, and in this video I want to talk about the upcoming lunar eclipse taking place tropically in the zodiac sign of Gemini and what we can all expect from it. But first, I will briefly show you how to generally tell what kind of change, as eclipses are all about change, to expect personally from this lunar eclipse. So how to do that is by first bringing up your natal chart and then check to see which house 7 degrees 39 seconds of Gemini lands in. Now remember, the change brought about by lunar eclipses tends to be more of an emotional change of feelings towards something or a certain area of life, and also that the effects of the eclipse take place usually about a month after the eclipse, within the month usually, but it can also even take place before the eclipse does, okay, which is interesting. So keep that in mind. Now, once you know which house on your chart this eclipse lands in, if you don't already know the meaning of all the 12 houses, then go onto my website, scroll down and you will find that information, as well as other basic information, including information about each planet, which will be useful to know, especially if this lunar eclipse happens to land on a planet and thus activate that planet on your natal chart, making it too come into play regarding the kind of change you will experience personally through this lunar eclipse. Now, learning to read your chart for yourself is very important and enlightening in my opinion, and it's something I encourage everyone to do. And again, I've provided a lot of information on my website and channel here to help with that. Now, moving on to what this lunar eclipse will mean for us all more on a collective level. On screen now is the chart of this eclipse, and as again the moon is tropically in the zodiac sign of Gemini during this particular moment in time, this is signifying a real split, okay, or division among the people, a vocal division and split opinions in many kinds of ways that are obvious to everyone and too lengthy to list them all. But here's a couple. We have vaxxers, anti-vaxxers, maskers, anti-maskers, those on the left, those on the right. Also through the coming tier system lockdowns, division on every level. But the main division that this eclipse is signalling is the financial split or division. And what I mean by that is those who have nothing and are struggling to get by, and those who have plenty and are doing just fine. Those with jobs and those without, okay? Now, at least half of the people will be financially suffering in time to come, even in more well-off countries, because of the deliberate moves of governments around the world due to this pandemic. The government's deliberate moves have devastated people financially, a lot of people. Now, especially a lot of the self-employed and the middle class. And it's not even got truly as bad as it will get. It's going to get really bad through 2021. We will all be wanting 2020 to come back once we see what 2021 has in store for people. Okay, unemployment will skyrocket, as it already is, but way worse. People's savings will be totally spent if they have not already been. And poverty and hunger will increase exponentially, as half of the people, at least, okay, become totally dependent on their governments and charity even to get by. Or they may not even have access to help from their governments, and in that case, without charity or other people's help, they're on their own. Now expect food price inflation to go right up, due primarily to the grand solar minimum, okay, crop losses, which they are trying to cover up, okay, the elite, they're trying to cover this up, the grand solar minimum crop losses. But at the same time, they're also systematically destroying, okay, the food supply chain. And on top of that, China has bought up a lot of the world's food, okay, as much as they can, in order to try and avert their own coming famine. So all that combined is going to have serious impact on food prices throughout 2021, even the end of this year. Now, as Uranus is in retrograde in the zodiac sign of Taurus, the sign of money and possessions, and as it is trine aspecting the moon, sextile aspecting the moon, as well as having Venus in the zodiac sign of Scorpio in opposition with Uranus. And as Uranus would prefer to be in Scorpio as exalted in that sign, and Venus would obviously prefer to be in her sign of Taurus, the sign which she rules. So this makes Venus the dispositor of Uranus. And again, as Venus rules Taurus, but as Uranus is exalted in Scorpio, okay, the sign which Venus is in. So again, if Uranus was located in Scorpio, the sign which Venus is in, then Uranus would be exalted. So this gives a kind of mutual reception also between these two planets, gaining strength for both, in my opinion. So all of this again is showing a great, deep financial divide between the people, okay, as we enter the deepest of recessions and witness the final stages of the collapse of this current debt-based financial system. It's going to get tough for many of us, but we will get through it in the end. But again, it's going to be very hard and difficult for a lot of people, especially unprepared, asleep people who are completely oblivious to what is coming. Now, this financial split in society, like I said, will bring a lot of the so-called middle class into poverty and will change their perception about poverty, as it will open up the previously closed eyes in society about what poverty truly is like. So eventually the collective emotional change manifestly brought on by this eclipse will be that of a change of feeling or opinion in society about poverty in general, and in the end working towards eliminating it. But we can all expect to see a whole lot more hardship and civil unrest before we get to that point, as it's a long way off yet, and we need to get a move on with using all our collective energy and technology in order to guarantee food security globally with the current grand solar minimum and the dangers it poses to us. Or poverty, okay, will be the least of all our worries as we get deeper and deeper into the grand solar minimum cycle. Just please put Maunder minimum into a search engine and know that we have entered a repeat cycle right now that will be at least on par with that Maunder minimum, okay? And in my opinion, it's an even worse, even deeper cycle. Or should I say it's much worse due to an even deeper overlapping cycle. But I have spoke about that in previous videos, and I will speak again about that in a very important upcoming video. So yeah, 2020 has been wild astrologically and of course obviously physically, and it's not over yet, so hold on tight, because 2 weeks from this lunar eclipse, okay, we have a total solar eclipse taking place December 14th. Then exactly 1 week after that point, we will get the main event, okay, the moment we've all been waiting for, the great conjunction of 2020 taking place on the winter solstice, Yule, December 21st, entering us, in my opinion, firmly into the age of Aquarius. Okay folks, I think I'll leave it here for this video. A huge thanks for watching. Please like, share and subscribe, and don't forget to hit the bell at the right hand side of the subscribe button. Until next time, take care.